Okay, so this video is in response to a question by one of you about one of the past paper questions from recent past paper, specifically the question about counting and totaling, the concepts of counting and totaling. Now, these concepts we've seen in our programming practice, but we haven't really gone through them explicitly in theory lessons like we have with other concepts or the constructs such as iteration and selection. So basically you can probably figure these out, but and they're actually fairly easy to answer, these questions. Counting, we've seen counting, for example, in when we've got count controlled loops. Any iteration where we need to keep track of the number of iterations or the number of times something has happened, we might use a variable which as a counter, and we simply increment that counter each time the iteration is carried through. Okay, so basically, a counting used to track the number of times a loop iterates, or the number of elements in an array. Okay, now there's numerous other examples I'm sure you can think of. Any reasonable example would be credited. Okay, and then if we include an example of the type of code, is equal to counter plus 1. Okay, so here we have the counter is being iterated each time and stored in the counter. Okay, so totaling is finding the cumulative values, cumulative sum, the sum of a series of values. Okay, so if we just use to store the total value of a range of numbers, for example. And again, we would have an example, so e.g. total equals total plus value. Okay, and so the way the examiner would go through this would be, okay, we've got a correct definition, 1 mark. We've got an example, 1 mark. We've got a correct definition, 1 mark, and we've got another correct example, giving us those 4 marks that are available. Okay, hope that's been helpful. As always, do let me know if there are any more questions, particularly concerning past paper questions that I can help you with.